was on. Oh, yeah, he's still there. So it's a little windy today and really cloudy. We've had some not so good fishing over the last couple weeks. So what happened was the warm water comes in the bay, and then it kind of just, all the fish leave. That's it. So that's what happened. So we're on the beach. I'm trying to catch something out here. Yesterday I went out trying to catch some mahi offshore. That didn't work out. Then we've tried to, let's see, I went kayaking at the Assateague Bridge. That wasn't so good, so I don't know. We'll try surf fishing. Hopefully that'll pay off. So I got my first rod set up. It's fishing the incoming tide. High tide's at I think like 117, something like that. So I'll fish the incoming and then just the first like hour or two of the outgoing. Oh, we got a fish on. Yep. It broke off. All right, so this one was the 4-ounce weight that I'm using that I'm gonna have to switch out because it's just this right in this part, the current's pretty strong. Not the other spot is actually pretty good. I like it. This I do like this spot as well. It's just need a bigger weight. The 4 on the other one was holding pretty good, so I'm just gonna leave it as is for now, and then if I have to switch later, I will. Usually the typical weights that I use are 4-ounce. If I have to switch to a 6, I will. I really don't like to too much. And then I do have the big spider weights too if the surf conditions are really rough, but I really don't like using those because they're very hard to cast and you can't cast that far. It's more like heaving it than casting it. And the water is very warm today. It feels really good. All right, put this one in. I'm gonna retie another high-low rig for the other one while this one sits, and then get it sent back out. 4-aught circle hooks. One of the things that I'm doing different with this rig that I have set up is if the surf is kind of rough or that it's kind of tossing the bait around, I'll switch to a T-knot instead of just it's just a dropper loop, and then if you can see it, it makes a T right here, and so that instead of like it flopping around, it pretty much suspends it straight out, so that'll keep the tangles and all that stuff at a minimum. thinking I might move the other one over this way. That one's just getting hammered around. You can see it going down. That surf is taking it, even with the 6-ounce weight. Might put it right here and try to cast it out that way. So one of the reasons that I use these high tubes, that was a bite right there. Yep, here we go. Is the, I need the rod tips up high. So yeah, I got a fish on this one. I'll explain it while I'm reeling it in. So what I'm doing is I want the, I want the rod tip out of the water. And I want it as high above the waves as I can, so that they're out of the waves. So when the waves are crashing, it's not taking my line and shoving it right into the sand or with the waves or the current or anything else. Fat croaker, spot croaker. So the tubes that I use are 10-foot tubes. I cut them in half, and then it's just 2 5-foot sections. So a prime example is with this wave coming in right here, I need the rod tip up high and out of the waves as much as I can. Even with this one, it's still too short because I can see the line getting caught, and that's why the rod is going down and then coming back up, just like that. Which is what I don't want, because all it's doing is throwing my bait all over the place. Had a real good bite on this one, a hard one. I think he's still on. Did he let go? Yeah, I think he let go. I'm just gonna leave it for now. I'll cast the other one out and then I'll check it in a second. All right, that one's out, so I'll reel this one in and see if I'm sure the bait's gone. It hit pretty hard. So I think what happened was he pulled the mullet off the top one and then just never came back to it. So I'll rebait it and send it back out. Hey, the sun's coming out. Yeah, I got one. So this is the rod I took the fish bites off. So I'm not going to use fish bites anymore. Kingfish. He's pretty small, buddy. We're gonna throw him back. So this is a southern kingfish. Kind of looks like a croaker, but he's a little bit different. You can tell by the little stripes on the top of him, if you can see him. Go ahead. All right, rebait and send him back out. There he goes. There's a ghost crab running. There he is. They're super fast. Try to pick him up. Come on, hit it again. He just had it. Get out. He just had it. All right, so they're getting picky with the bait. A flounder off a high-low rig. How about that? That is crazy.
We keep it?
No, it's got to be 16.5 inches, Wills. A flounder off a high-low rig. That is crazy. They got to be 16.5 to keep them, so I got to let this guy go. Species number 3 for today. What I switched with the bait to try to help my hookups. Oh, sweating. So here's what I did. If you can see it, that's how I hook it through. And I try to do it with all of them. That way the bait stays on tighter and they kind of commit to it. Sometimes, well, actually most of the time I don't even have to do that. I just hook it on and throw it out just once through, and it's usually fine. But when they get picky or when the surf is rough, I like to switch it and kind of see what they're hitting on and what they're not. So the last 2 that I caught were hitting the same exact way. That first spot croaker hit the other way where I just hook it through once. So just like that, everything just heats right back up. The incoming tide didn't really produce much, so we're trying to get the high tide right now and then try to get the out going, and hopefully we'll get some more. But 3 so far, I'll take it after an extremely slow morning. So we got the spot croaker, the kingfish, and then the flounder that we just let go. So I don't know, we'll keep going, see how we do. This one just smashed down. It wasn't a wave, I know that. That was definitely a fish. He was on. Oh, yeah, he's still there. Bluefish. Species number 4 for today, bluefish. They do have teeth too, look. All right, I'll show you my secret to bait, but don't tell anyone. All right, here it is. Try to set my GoPro up. I guess as best I can. All right, so I have a mullet, right? It's a big one, so I'm gonna have to cut it down quite a bit. I cut off all the fins, every one of them. That one right here, the big one I have to cut off is right here, because when the fish bite, they're gonna get poked by that and they're gonna let go. So you want them to commit. So I cut them off, all of them. Then I cut off this one, and I cut off these 2, and then I cut it into small pieces. Cut that a little more. I cut off these 2. So when I cut it into chunks, I use small chunks like this big, maybe a little bit bigger, on a 4/0 circle hook. And then I hook it up the same way that I showed you. That's my secret to the bait. You have to cut the fins off. You have to. And your hookup percentage is 100 times better. There's a Jeep there, a Jeep there, a Jeep there. The two Jeeps that just drove by. If you can't tell, it's Jeep Week in Ocean City. All right, I think I'm calling it quits. That's it, I'm done. Thanks for watching and hanging out with me on Assateague. It was a heck of a day. 4 fish is what I ended up with, 4 different species. So we're just gonna pack everything up now, head back. By the time we leave and get back to my house, it takes like an hour to put the air in the tires and all that stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out with us, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully the fishing will heat up. We are trying to get offshore a little bit more. I've tried to do at least like 2 or 3 videos every time that we go out. It's not the cards just aren't really right. Yeah, it's been rough out there. Either everybody's just completely killing everything or nothing at all. So I don't know, it's just fishing the way it is. So all right, I'll see you next time. Thanks again.